Hi everyone, it's Eric from ecommon12.blogspot.com and welcome to my continued comparison of the Nexus 6 versus the Nexus 9. Today what we're going to do is do a gaming performance test. So let's go into the games folder. I'm just going to test about 3 games in this particular test, and let's start off with Asphalt 8. Okay, now for comparison's sake, what I've actually done is lowered the volumes down on both these devices, and I'm going to press start race at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, go. And we'll see which one loads fastest first, and then we'll see which one performs the best. The Nexus 9 beats the Nexus 6 by a lot. The game's already started and the Nexus 6 is still loading. And the Nexus 6 has now caught up, so you can do a screen comparison test if you want, but let's see which one drives smoother. Okay, so I'm controlling the Nexus 9. It's doing a very admirable job. And I've crashed. Now let's go quick at the Nexus 6. Nexus 6 is a smoother experience, I'll say right off the bat, and that was strange what to do. Okay. There you go, I'd say the Nexus 6 seems to look better due to the AMOLED screen, and it's a smoother experience overall. Wow, the Nexus 6, the AMOLED display really brings this game alive. It looks great on the Nexus 9 as well. The Nexus 9 is still doing a fantastic job at running this game. And on the bigger, larger screen, on the 4x3 as well, it seems to be doing quite a good job. And I know it's not easy to put them both in shot here, but as you can see, it's a very good performance from both of these devices. But the Nexus 9 definitely loaded the game up faster, but the Nexus 6 seems to be doing a much better experience on the whole. So, let's change over to another game and see how these both compare. Okay, so now let's do Marvel Champions. Now, this game takes a long time to basically just get into the main game, so that's why I've pretty much set it up for both of these already. Actually, that's interesting. The Nexus 6, I accidentally exited it. The Nexus 6 actually continues right off the bat where you put this to say stored the game in multitasking, whereas the Nexus 9 has to reload the whole game again. Okay, so what I'll do is just skip this part of the video, get straight to this fight section, and then we'll see which one loads faster when it actually comes to getting to the actual match. Okay, we're back, and let's hit the fight button at the same time. I was expecting some sort of fancy animation with lightning and stuff to show up right there, but apparently it didn't. Okay, so Nexus 9 beats Nexus 6 again. Okay, now I am not entirely sure how to play this game. My brother's been playing it more than me. I'm not sure if you can notice this either, but let's just zoom in a tad. The Nexus 6 is actually doing a smoother job at running this game than the Nexus 9. That being said though, the Nexus 9 is a bigger, larger screen, so it might be funner for you to play on that. But the Nexus 9 is actually also doing very smooth as well. They're both performing very well, although the Nexus 9 definitely loaded the game up much faster, but for some reason did not store it in its multitasking memory. And I beat him just by doing nothing practically. Now, again, this game basically hits paywall, so it's a completely rubbish game in that sense, but for comparison's sake, they both did a very admirable job. However, again, with the AMOLED display, the comic book colours really come to life on here. But if you're not comparing both the screens at the same time, then you will not have any complaints with the Nexus 9, and you won't really notice the difference. Okay, so let's test out the final game. Okay, so let's go right into the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm very curious to see how both of these perform in terms of each other, because they are real. This game really is a mess on how it runs on devices. On some lower-end devices, it runs better than it does on the high-end devices, so that I find very, very strange, but let's see how it compares and runs here. Okay, so after extensive retries trying to get the Amazing Spider-Man 2 to run my Nexus 6, it just wouldn't, and now look what it says, isn't responding, and my device does not like it at all, because it keeps running very slow every single time this is open. So, Nexus 6, absolute fail. You do not get to test the Amazing Spider-Man game. In fact, you can't even run it, whereas the Nexus 9 has. So, it looks like the Nexus 9's got to go solo with this one, just so you have an idea how the Nexus 9 performs. And let's just do a very quick test right here. So the next... What the... Oh, there we go. I thought that this is glitching out. There you go. This game is... Oh boy, this is the most embarrassing gameplay test I've ever done. Okay, so let's just skip this bit right here. Do a quick bit of web swinging. Very, very quick bit of web swinging. And it's smooth. The game is not optimized for a 4x3 screen though, so it's basically just stretched and does not look... It doesn't look bad. You can still looks crisp and clear, but it just doesn't look right. Stretched up like this. But on a big screen, web swinging around the city might be more fun than on a smaller screen. But there you go, that's not even a comparison to the Nexus 6 really, but the Nexus 6 can even run this game. It's the first device that has the specs that's not able to run it, which is strange. Maybe it's down to the actual screen resolution, but I doubt that. So guys, that's my game performance test, and before we sign off, I'm just going to show you one very quick thing. Do you remember when I compared Spiderman Unlimited with the Nexus 6 and Nexus 9 in my brief comparison video? Well, I said that Nexus 9 was running it smoother than Nexus 6, but after further inspection I've just realised that the Nexus 6 was actually utilising much higher graphics than the Nexus 9. If you look at the shadows right now on both these games, you can see that the shadow is actually resembling Spider-Man's shape on the Nexus 6, and it looks really crisp and clear. On the Nexus 9, it's just a round circle, so it's like hardly any shadow effects going on right here. And if you look at the buildings, you'll see on the Nexus 6 there's reflections on the actual buildings, whereas on the Nexus 9 the buildings are blank. It's like there's no life added to the city. So why the game's graphical settings was changed when running on both these devices, I have absolutely no idea. But that being said, looks like the Nexus 6 is actually supposed to be given more props, as it's actually been able to run the game very comparatively with the Nexus 9 and still have better graphics being displayed. So, that's a very strange little comparison right there, but I'm going to have to end this video right now, guys. Thank you very much for watching. It was very strange comparing Amazing Spider-Man 2 on both these devices. That has never happened before. But anyway, as usual, you can find me on my social networks. You'll find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. Thanks very much again, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see all of you next time. Take care.